here we are with the final race of 1984. The Budweiser on its last voyage in the history of that boat. It'll be put to pasture. Here's Steve Reynolds with an incredible start in the Tosti Asti. He's right where he wants to be with an open lane and a fast speed right at the gun. Coming into that wide first turn, it's even better than 175 miles per hour. The Tosti Asti with an incredible turn in lane number 3.
Unlimited hydroplane racing in 1984 was the most exciting and competitive in the sport's history. Never have there been more new competitive boats. However, 1984 saw the grand old lady amongst the new kids take the checkered flag 6 out of 10 races. 84 featured a Union-based Squire Shop team with a different boat, driver, and crew chief fight its way to a second-place finish in national points. It featured a brand new Executone telephones hull and a season of steady improvement. Chet's Music, later called Joe Ritchie's Spirit of Detroit, featured the most improved driver in Todd Yarling. And as for the turbine-powered Tosti Asti, it waited for the grand finale to show its stuff. The new Atlas Van Lines, the boat everyone either loved or hated, set a new standard of performance when it was at its best. Then there was Ron Snyder and the American Speedy Printing. 2 questions here. How many engines could Ron burn up, and was he really only 45 years old? There was the Miss Renault with boisterous, controversial Milner Irvin and its subdued owner, Jerry Shanin.
Well, we were having another one of our famous owner meetings, and Teresa knocked on the door to see if Jim Lucero was in there, and 17 owners admitted they were Jim Lucero.
The U-20. Granted, Jerry Hobb saw a lot of rooster tails from behind, but he finished every heat. Can anyone else say that? The U-80 Bob Patterson Special, again the envy of every team when it came to dialing in a turbocharged Allison. And anytime you heard the groaning of a crane, and I mean groaning, you knew who was entering the water. The Light All-Star, one of the best paint jobs in racing, the funniest group of VIPs, and a crew and driver who, early in the season, usually had plenty of time to visit. The O'Boy Alberto, better known as the U-40, even better known as the boat that threw Scott Pierce into the Ohio River, then sank, twice. Frank Kenny Toyota Volvo, a new John Stoddicker-built boat. When driver Earl Hall could keep the sponsons on the water, it showed potential. Finally, the Texmo with driver Buck Thornton. Like the Tosti, the best came last in Houston. And the team should be awarded for the loudest Texas yelp known to man after first qualifying. And who can blame them? Great moments of 1984. Chip Hanauer came out of the closet admitting to having a personal fetish for the team's tow truck.
Well, some people like, new, young trucks. I like a truck that's been around the block a little bit, It's got a few miles on it. You know what I mean, Don?
Less hang-up.
Yeah, it's more open to a lot of things. Come on, you know what I'm talking about.
Now, rumor has it you keep the truck and maybe go turbine?
Oh, a turbo doesn't turn me on a truck, really. I like a straight 8, if you know what I mean.
1984 was the year of the bike, and the leader of the pack was our own Jim Sedan. Either direction, avoiding him was a giant leap for mankind. On the serious side, Syracuse, New York. While testing, the Budweiser lost a prop blade and was severely damaged. Nobody knew at the time that an epidemic of prop busting was on the horizon. Still in Syracuse, few will forget the second turn in the final heat between the Squire and the Tosti Asti. Onondaga Lake picked up and spit out the Tosti and driver Steve Reynolds while trying to pass the Squire. Mickey Riemann went on to win. Evansville, Indiana, the epidemic hit again, this time the Tosti. The boat was sent back to Seattle and probably passed the Budweiser returning from its shop. The Bud won the Thunder on the Ohio just 2 weeks after Syracuse. Madison, Indiana will be remembered for 2 races, that of the Atlas Van Lines and the race everyone else was in. Chip Hanauer and the Atlas tore up the record books while the rest of the field tried to stay on the same lap. The Detroit River has never been friendly, but it outdid itself in 1984. The Budweiser got the checkered flag on Monday, but the River won the war. The 1984 Gold Cup in Tri-Cities, Washington will be remembered for a number of things. The Squire Shop blowing up in the pits Saturday after qualifying, but somehow being repaired in time to race. Heat 1A, the fastest in the sport's history, featuring the Budweiser and the Atlas van lines. A final heat which saw the Tosti Asti cut off, a resulting traffic jam, and Mickey Riemann running from the pack in his finest start, only to break and watch Chip Hanauer cruise to his third straight Gold Cup. It will also be remembered as the last race won by O.H. Frisbee and the Atlas Van Lines Company.
Well, this was the ultimate. Naturally, the Gold Cup, as far as I'm concerned, is the premier race of the year. And we had a lot of disappointments this year, but it's all made up. Everything's made up today.
Think of Seattle 1984 and what comes to mind? How about vice presidents, parallel rollers, and Mickey's hands breaking inside his stopwatch? It was also victory number 4 for the Budweiser team in 1984. In fact, the next 2 races belong to the Budweiser. In San Diego, sunshine, salt water, sand, and scum. 2 weeks later, the Bud again ran away from the field. The job made easier at the start of the final when the steering wheel of the Atlas Van Lines came off in the hands of Chip Hanauer at Lake of the Ozarks. Houston, October 7th, the final race of the year. For the Squire Shop, it meant, gee, only one more last-second major repair job before racing. For the Budweiser camp, the last dance for its winning but tired hull. And for the Tosti Asti, it meant the turning of a single screw would make all the difference in the world. The boat performed flawlessly in the final to give owner Steve Woomer his first victory and driver Steve Reynolds his second. 1984, a year of new boats and old boats, of improving boats and unique boats. A year of broken props and broken plans, of joyous moments and shaking hands. A year of laughter, a year of fun, a year of sweating out under the sun. A year in the pits, that constant hike, and trying to dodge each goddamn bike. So now it's February with work ahead when most of us just want to go to bed. We say thanks to you all for all the fun and somehow making your unlimited run. Our production team was working with pros, and I especially enjoyed shooting each close.
This is foul.
Okay, this is what we're done. Okay, I'm
Be serious. All right. Serious, Doc.
Yeah, we get this thing done.
Okay.
I gotta talk nice about your boats.
Don't forget the crew.
So the 1984 season comes to an end with the World Championships here. Noonan, you're out of here. You're out of here, Noonan. I'd rather y'all now.
This may take a while.
Come on, I'm trying to do a sincere close here. It's the end of the year. Hey, ready? Yeah. Ready? Go ahead. All right, here he comes again. So the 1984 season comes to an end with the World Championships here in Houston. It's been an incredible year for unlimited hydroplane racing and a very safe year, which is of course most important. Again, congratulations to the crew of the Tosti Asti, for the owner Steve Woomer and the driver Steve Reynolds. It's been a long time since he's gotten a victory and he deserves it. I hope you enjoyed our broadcast this year. We'll be back in 1985 along with the boats, and I can't wait to see you then. And until then, for Jim Hendrick, I'm Don Poier. Thanks for joining us, and so long. That'll be good for the winter meeting.
See you in 1985.